Hi, good day. Welcome to CMS. Today we'll know how to make a work program and scheduling for your project. That's the main step 3. We'll go for scheduling. We'll find scheduling showing us 5 steps. We'll find here the first step, 3.1, commencement date and holidays. Second step is related to the manpower and productivities. Third step is how to develop the schedule itself. Fourth step, which is an output for the cost baseline and the cash flow. And fifth step is to how to show the manpower histogram. We'll find here the first step, 3.1, commencement date and holidays. We have to insert for CMS what is the potential commencement date or the agreed commencement date, and also the holidays, which will be deducted automatically from the time schedule. CMS will direct us for this page, which is informing us which have these main buttons, which are required for moving through CMS. And here to insert now the commencement date. To insert the date, CMS will ask you for the password, which is CMS uppercase or in capital letters. Shall be inserted by month, then day, and year. Then you'll insert the potential holidays, which will be during the project period of execution. Then you will go for next step either from here or you go back for schedule and choose it. Let's see how to deal with it. When you open this page, you will find here the main bar, which included also the buttons to go through CMS pages, and here is the buttons which directs you for the steps which you have to follow to complete your task. First step here, we ask you to click to run. CMS completed step 1, go to step 2. Okay. Step 2 is click to render. CMS will start rendering now. Okay. Okay. Step 2 is click to prepare. Let's click. CMS will start preparing now. Preparing is done. Thanks for waiting and go to step 3. Okay. That's step 3. Modify the productivities for each activity if required. As we see here, this table is included all the type of works, the activity name, and the related civil manpower for each activity. We have carpenters, steel fixers, masons, plasterers, tile fixers, painters, helpers, and technicians. For each activity, CMS have already productivity for each type of activity, which will be there in CMS database. Of course, you can modify it and change it according to your site condition and according to your company manpower and according to your project. If you don't have this information, you can keep the productivity as it is because that's the common productivity for, for such activities. For example, if we are talking about the shuttering for slabs and beam, shuttering is here means scaffolding and shuttering work and deshuttering after casting and even the back propping. That means you have to insert the productivity which is covering all this. Again, the scaffolding, the shuttering, the deshuttering, and back propping. It is 8 square meter for each carpenter, but 4 meter for a helper. That means Each 8 meter need one carpenter and two helpers for scaffolding fixation, for shuttering with timber, and de-shuttering and backpropping. For steel fixing for a column or walls, let's consider here one steel fixer will give us 300 kilogram of steel fabrication and installation. And also, one helper will give the same. That means one steel fixer and one helper will give us 300 kilogram of steel fabrication and installation, and so on. If you have another productivities, you can insert it easily. Suppose you don't like the 300, your labor can do only 200, you can change it easily. He will ask you for the password. It is CMS in capital letter or uppercase. Then you can change it as you like according to this change, and the same for all the activities. That's all the activities which already calculated before in our quantity surveying and cost estimation. So you can easily change the productivity as you like. That's step number 3, only to change the productivity. If you don't have a productivity, you can keep it. Step number 4 is to modify the durations for activities if without manpower, which is in the Maronish border cells. Like what? Like the mobilization and the engineering. CMS considering the mobilization and engineering are an activity which should be took place or implemented in the beginning of the project using a special stuff, and he considered here as a one activity without details. The details only will be in the BOQ. It's considered as a price only, but if you need to make a detail for this, you can make it separately. But you have to insert here the required duration to complete, or if you didn't insert, you will keep it with 0, and CMS will consider this mobilization and demobilization and engineering work. It will go through all the duration of the project. This according to your discretion only. That's step number 4. Step number 5 is insert initial manpower. So here we have here carpenters, steel fixers, masons, plasters, tile fixers, painters, and helpers. What the meaning of the initial manpower? It will not be fixed and it will not be final. It's only an initial manpower to allow CMS start generating his scheduling, and you can insert it with any numbers you need. Maybe you can start with your company capacity, or you can start with the numbers which you can provide for the project. Accordingly, CMS will start calculate all the duration for the project, but it will not be a final, and we'll see how. Suppose we'll consider here, we'll start with 50 carpenters, with 50 steel fixers, and we'll start with 40 masons and 40 plasterer and 40 tile fixers and 40 painters. As we said, it will not be the final. It's only a numbers to allow CMS start only his work in the scheduling. That's step number 5. Very easy. So according to these numbers, CMS will provide you an overall duration and start his work to give you the duration for each activity. Then step number 6, which is go to schedule bar chart. Click it. You'll find you are now in the schedule. CMS now directed us to schedule, so we have to also follow the steps. First, you can see now the schedule. The schedule here is contains also of this button, which is allow us going through the CMS. Step number 1, click to run. CMS completed step 1, go to step 2. Step 2, click to prepare. CMS will start preparing now. It will take few minutes. Click OK. Preparing schedule is ready. Thanks for waiting. And go to step 3. Actually, this action took a few minutes. Due to a huge amount of calculation and formulas, it took a few minutes, and that's the longest preparation step in the CMS. Anyhow, preparing schedule is ready. Thanks for waiting, and go to step 3. Step 3 is modify the relations and sequences between activities. As we see here, that's the components of the schedule, the type of the work, the ID, the activity name, the value for each activity, which is a planned value. Each activity have its planned value, which shall be consumed till complete of this activity, and also the weight of this value against the project value. And this is very important to identify how much these activities are important according to the volume or the weight of this activity against the project. Here we'll find the actual cost and planned completion and actual completion, which are not our concern now. This will be used in the management, monitoring, and controlling the project. And also, you will find here the duration, which is our target. We need to reach for a target for the planned duration. And here is the actual duration. Also, this is not our concern now. This will be used in the management, in the project monitoring, controlling, and management. And here we'll find the planned start and planned finish for each activity, and of course planned start and planned finish for the project, which will know how to ensure it now. And here is the actual, which also will be used only in the management of the project after during execution. The most important part now in this step is the relations. Which activity is predecessor for the other? What's the relation between these activities? And what's the lag or lead between the activities? That's our concern now. To modify these relations, CMS have already the logic sequence, or we can say the hard logic sequence between the activity. It's already there in the database. But of course, according to your project and according to your activities and according to your discretion, you can modify these relations. And you can modify also the lag and lead between the activities. That means you have to check each activity and what's the relation between each activity and the others. For example, if we are talking about the relation between the BCC under foundation, when it will be start, we'll find it have a relation with the activities before. Of course, we cannot start the BCC under foundation till we almost complete or at least start in the backfilling and anti-termite. So we consider here this activity, which is number 70, have a relation with number 65 and 60. How it is? With 65, which is the termite work, the BCC must be casted in parallel with the termite, only almost 1 day variance maximum. So what we will fill in the predecessor and what are the relations and what are the lag. Predecessor, we have to insert here the activities which is predecessor for this specified activity. For example, for this PCC, which is number 70, it have a predecessor activities. This activity depend on them. The PCC under foundation, of course, depend on the anti-termite and the backfilling. We cannot do PCC without anti-termite and without backfilling before the PCC. It's a hard logic relation. That means activity number 70 have a hard logic relation with activity number 60 and 65. What kind of this relation? Actually, CMS provides three kinds of relations. Either it is finish to start, or start to start, or finish to finish. Finish to start, as everyone knows that this activity cannot start till the predecessor activity is finished. Start to start, that means both activities can be started in same time. Finish to finish, that means both activities can finish in same time. Plus the lag. What the meaning of lag? Which is the overlap or the gap between the activities. If the lag is positive, that means there is a gap between the two activities. If the lag is negative, that means there is an overlap between the activities. For example, if the relation between 70 and 65 is start to start, but 70, which is the BCC, will start after 1 day from the termite treatment starting, so we have to insert here 1. If it starts after 5 days, we have to insert 5. We'll find here now the even the bar chart is changed and the duration, and of course the planned start is also changed. Same time, it's also have a relation finish to finish with the backfilling. But it must be finished after 12 days of completion of activity number 60. Accordingly, CMS will provide the start and finish. So CMS consider here the first date, the first day, which is the commencement day is the 1st of November 2019. And accordingly, CMS will generate the schedule. The same will be done for all the activities. You just check if you accept this relation and this sequences of work which are provided in CMS, or you need to change or to make any kind of modification. You have also to consider your time constraint, which is provided by the client or the consultant, or even according to the market situation. If you are a developer, suppose you need your project to be completed in 900 days. So you have to go for each one, for each activity, and check the relation between each predecessor one by one till you satisfy the relations. There is very important note here. You have to ensure every valid activity which have planned value amount, the PV amount, must have at least one relation. Because if you keep any activity without relation, for example like this, your schedule will be damaged. It will not work. It's given here an unlogic dates. So you have to ensure each activity must have at least one relation. This is very important. When you find any error, that means you understand that you have a mistake or you have a problem. There is one activity without relation. Then we'll go for step number 4.